Hi, welcome back to an episode of the Book Club in the Podcast Book Club. Yeah! And today guys, we're extremely special. So because today guys, we're on episode number 381. And it's not just 381 episode. It's also that we are going to finish the book today, and tomorrow is going to be the recap of the book, the summary of the book. So we're going to finish the series. I think considering which book we are going to read next, but I think it's going to be something on marketing. I'm looking for a book about marketing. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's just dive right into the book. Say, friends, the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini, page 218 to 212 and 20. Read with the myth, the legend, the value, the everything with the companies. Yeah, let's go. This avalanche of information and choices, of information and choices is made possible by burgeoning technological progress. Leading the way we are developments, leading the way our developments, the ability to collect, store, retrieve, and communicate information at first. The fruits of such advances were limited to large organizations, government agencies, or powerful corporations. For example, speaking as chairman of Citicorp, what of Winston could say of his company, we have tied together a database in the world that is capable of telling almost anyone in the world almost anything immediately. But now, with further developments in the telecommunication and computer technology, access to such staggering amounts of information is falling within the reach of individual citizens. Extensive cable and satellite television systems provide one route for that information into the average home. The other major route is the personal computer. In 1972, Norman Macri, an editor of The Economist, speculated prophetically about a time in the future. The prospect is, after all, that we are going to enter an age when any duffer sitting at a computer terminal in his laboratory or office or public library or home can develop for unimaginable increase the mountains of information in mass assembly data banks with mechanical powers of concentration and calculation that will be greater by a factor of tens of thousands than was ever available to the human brain of even an Einstein. One short decade later, Time magazine estimated that Macri's future age derived by naming a machine, the personal computer, as its man of the year. Times editors defended the choice by citing the consumer stumped to purge small computers and by arguing that America, and in a large perspective the entire world, will never be the same. Market vision is now being realized. Millions of ordinary duffers are sitting at machines with the potential to present and analyze enough data to bury an Einstein. Because the cell phone is smartphones, I don't know when it's mine, but that's right. Because technology can evolve much faster than we can. Our natural capacity to process information is likely to be increasingly inadequate to handle the surfeit of change, choice, and challenge that is a characteristic of modern life. More and more frequently, we will find ourselves in the position of the lower animals, with mental apparatures that is inadequate equipped and equipped to deal with 40 with the intricacy and the richness of the outside environment. Unlike the animals, whose cognitive powers have always been relatively deficient, we have created our own deficiency by constructing a radically more complex world. But the consequence of our new deficiency is the same as that of the animals' long-standing one. When making a decision, we will less frequently enjoy the luxury of a fully considered analysis of the total situation, but will revert increasingly to a focus on a single, usually reliable feature of it. When those single features are truly reliable, there is nothing inherently wrong with the shortcut approach of node attention and the automatic response to a particular piece of information. The problem comes when something causes an anomaly, transmorphic cues to conceal us poorly, to lead us to erroneous actions and wrong-guided decisions. As we have seen, one such cause is trickery of certain compliance practitioners who seek to profit from the rather mindless and mechanical nature of shortcut response. If it seems true, the frequency of shortcut response is increasing with the pace and form of modern life. We can be sure that the frequency of this trickery is destined to increase as well. What can we do about the expected intensified attack on our system of shortcuts? More than evasive action, I will use a forceful counter assault. There is an important qualification, however. Compliance professionals who play fairly by the rules of shortcut response are not to be considered as the enemy. On the contrary, they are allies in an efficient and adaptive process of exchange. The proper targets for a counter aggression are only those individuals who falsify, counterfeit, or misrepresent the evidence that naturally cause our shortcut responses. Let's take an illustration from what is perhaps our most frequently used shortcut. According to the principle of social proof, we often decide to do what other people like us we often decide to do what other people like us are doing. It makes all kinds of sense since most of the time an action that is popular in a given situation is also functional and appropriate. An advertiser, without using deceptive statistics, provides information that a brand of toothpaste is the largest selling or fastest growing, is offering us valuable evidence about the quality of the product and the probability that we will like it. Provided that we are in the market for a tube of food, provided that we are in the market for a tube of a good toothpaste, you might want to rely on that single piece of information, popularity, to decide to try it. This strategy will likely steer us right. Will unlikely steer us far wrong, and will conserve our cognitive energies for dealing with the rest of our increasingly information-laden, decision-overloaded environment. The advertiser who allows us to use effectively. This efficient strategy is hardly an antagonist, but rather must be considered a cooperating partner. The story becomes quite different, however. Should a compliance practitioner try to stimulate a shortcut response by giving us a fraudulent signal for it? The enemy is an adversary who seeks to create an image of popularity for a brand of toothpaste by, say, constructing a series of staged, unrehearsed interview commercials in which an array of actors posing as ordinary citizens praise the product. Here, where the evidence of popularity is a counterfeit. V, the principle of social proof, and the shortcut response to it are all being exploited. In an earlier chapter, I recommended against the purchase of any product features in a faked, unrehearsed interview ad, and the urge that we sell the product manufacturers later detailing the reason and suggesting that they dismiss the advertising agency. I would recommend extending this aggressive stance to any situation in which a compliance professional abuses the principle of social proof or any other weapon of influence in this manner. You should refuse to watch TV programs that use canned laughter. If you see a bartender beginning a shift by sorting his tip jar with a bill or two of his own, we should get none from us. He should get none from us. If after waiting in a line outside a nightclub, you discover from the amount of available space that the wait was designed to impress passers-by with false evidence of the club's popularity, we should leave immediately and announce a reason to those still in line. If it's a good club, just enjoy the club. In short, we should be willing to use a boycott, threat, confrontation, cancel, tirade, TIRADE, nearly anything to relate. I don't consider myself pugnacious by nature, but I actively advocate such belligerent actions because in a way I am at war with the exploiters. We all are. It is important to recognize, however, that their motive for profit is not a cause for hostilities. That motive, after all, is something we each share to an extent. The real treachery, and the thing we cannot tolerate, is any attempt to make the profit in a way that threatens the reliability, reliability of our shortcuts. The blitz of modern daily life demands that we have faithful shortcuts, sound rules of thumb to handle it all. These are not luxuries any longer. They are out and out necessities that figure to become increasingly vital as the pulse of daily life quickness. That is why we should want to retaliate, RETALIATE, whenever we see someone betraying one of our rules. Whenever we see someone betraying one of our rules of thumb for profit, we want that rule to be as effective as possible. but to the degrees that it's finest for duty is regularly undercut. But to the degrees that it's finest for duty is regularly undercut by the shrinks of a profiter. By the shrinks of a profiter. They naturally will use it less and will be less able to cope efficiently with the decisional burdens of our day. But to the degree that it's finest for duty is regularly undercut by the tricks of a profiter. We naturally will use it less and will be less able to cope efficiently with the decisional burdens of our day. We cannot allow that without a fight. The stakes have gotten too high. And guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. And also, this is the end of the book. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact you choose to invest time in me. I really enjoyed the episode. I think it was one of the greatest books that I read in the series, because it's a lot of books that full of with one idea, and the author start to try to be smart, so he just make a big book, a long book, and just repeat himself. But in this book, every day, every episode, there is something new, and I just really enjoy it, and it gives me so much information and ideas to my life. So thank you very much, Ovi Kalinidi. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining me, and we are going to meet together tomorrow for the summary of the book. But we finished, yeah, we made it. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.